If you've seen cheap Android TV boxes on Amazon or AliExpress, you probably thought, how can they cram an entire computer into something sold for $30 to $50? That's almost the price of the memory inside alone. There must be some trade-offs for that low price. Well, I'm here to give you 5 reasons why I love Android TV boxes and 5 reasons why I hate them, and maybe that'll help you decide whether they're worth your time. The first thing I love about Android TV boxes is that they turn any old display or projector into a smart TV. So if you've got an older display that still works but you've been waffling on smart features, an Android TV box is an inexpensive way to upgrade. And one of my favorite things of Android boxes compared to smart TVs is the ability to choose specs that are important to you. With a smart TV, you're kinda stuck with what the manufacturer has chosen in terms of processor, amount of RAM, internal storage, and other hardware support. Whereas with an Android TV box, you can compare specifications, compare processors, and get the box that is right for you. The third thing I love about Android TV boxes is the ability to install almost any Android app compared to a smart TV. There's tons of options on Android like PlayStation emulators, Kodi for free TV shows, non-crippled web browser, and on a lot of smart TVs you just don't have that kind of choice, unless of course they're running Android too. And that transitions into the fourth thing I love about Android TV boxes, and that is their support for a wide range of media formats. Since you have the ability to install almost any Android app, that means you can install almost any video player, and those video players can give you access to media formats that your smart TV can never hope to play. And finally, the last thing I love about Android TV boxes is that basic ones are ridiculously inexpensive. $50 from a Chinese seller buys you something with 4 gigs of RAM, a decent processor, 32 gigs of internal storage. And yeah, that's actually quite astounding when you consider that Android TV boxes are basically cell phones without the screen. There are, however, quite a few things I don't like about Android TV boxes, so let's start with the utter lack of consistency, and this goes for both hardware and software. It's essentially a coin toss whether you're going to end up with a good device or something that has serious usability issues. I've tested more than a dozen of these boxes from various suppliers, and every one of them has had some stupid small issue that nearly wrecked the experience for me. For example, the one I'm showing in the video right now does not have 5G Wi-Fi, and in my apartment building 2.4G is just unusable. The consistency also lacks in terms of software. In some cases, Android TV boxes will not properly load the Play Store, in some cases the launcher can be cluttered and difficult to navigate, and it's basically a crapshoot unless you're buying a box from a more reviewed brand name, which comes with the extra expense. The next thing I hate about Android TV boxes is their support for external devices. Sure, Android TV boxes generally have a full-size USB port. That doesn't mean that what you plug into it will work. For example, some boxes won't take bigger than 32GB SD cards, some boxes will screw up with your mouse, some boxes won't accept a hard drive, and the list goes on, and you really don't know until you try. The third thing I don't like about Android TV boxes is the user interface. These things are a budget device, and because of that, the user interface is generally not optimized. Included in the box is a basic remote which has up and down arrows and a select button, just that Android is kind of designed for a touch screen. Yeah, it does work to get around the UI a little bit, but beyond things like opening apps and playing media, you'll find issues with web browsing, typing is an absolute pain in the butt, and the overall experience is clunky and unintuitive. You can install another launcher, but for the optimal experience, a mouse or touchpad is needed, which is an additional cost. And in some cases, your mouse or touchpad may actually cost more than the device itself. The fourth thing I really don't like about Android TV boxes is the multitasking. One thing Windows and Mac OS X have down is multitasking, window switching and holding tasks in the background. These Android TV boxes, on the other hand, are extremely basic when it comes to multitasking. You can't have a YouTube video playing and then switch to another window to work on a Word document, and there's generally no dual window thing like you'd see on a flagship smartphone, so you're basically stuck with whatever app is open and that's it. In some cases, multitasking on these boxes is so bad that any app you put into the background will be closed. That generally only happens if you cheap out too much though and get a model with 1 gig or 2 gigs of RAM. Finally, the last thing I hate about these boxes is the warranty, or lack thereof. Any ad for these boxes that say 1-year warranty or 2-year warranties, take that with a grain of salt. More than likely to get warranty service, you'll have to send the box back to China with a tracked method, and that shipping alone will cost more than the entire box did itself. So don't expect any support for hardware issues or even software issues. Chances are you won't get any update whatsoever. So is it worth it to buy an Android box? I'd say in most cases no, it's not. You're better spending your money on a second-hand Windows computer or even a cheap old Mac. Something a couple years older will be around the same price these Android TV boxes are, and you'll end up with more powerful hardware, better multitasking, and a more consistent experience. Android boxes are fiddly and annoying, and often have small issues that require tech skills to resolve. If you get lucky, they can be great, but my experience so far, having tested around 12 of these, has been, so-so. Have you used an Android TV box before? Let me know in the comments below what you think of them. Subs and thumbs support my channel, and as always, thanks for watching. What is false advertisement? Aha! Look at that, there you go. The voice typing only works when you are pressing and holding the voice button. Did you see what it says? Oh my god.